This is Super Yacht News with E. Sisman.
Hi, welcome back to the channel. Okay, so we're tracking a few movements and we've got a few stories to get on with, so let's do that. So the first story is, we mentioned in a previous video, we've been talking about Yuri Milner, who owns Yacht Andromeda and Yacht Ulysses. His vessel was on the way to Darwin in Australia, and we tracked the vessel to Australia. The vessel was only there for a 24-hour period and then has departed and is heading towards Tahiti. So yeah, I'm sure the crew weren't very happy about that. They just spent a month or so at sea, and they had literally one day in Darwin, probably just to bunker to take on more fuel, and then left again the next day. So they're on the way to Papeete, which is the capital of Tahiti. So the vessel left at 23:58 hours on, that's UTC time, on the 23rd of October. So we'll follow that and we'll let you know when she arrives. Another boat that's been on the move recently is Yacht Anna. Now this is the 110 meter Yacht Anna, owner being Dmitry Robolev. Now Dmitry Robolev had two yachts until recently. He had a 67 meter vessel, also called Yacht Anna. And the 110 meter is a new vessel that came out a couple of years ago. And he has since sold the 67 meter, which has been renamed Firebird. But this vessel is been in Turkey since pretty much the beginning of all of the Ukraine war. Crossed over from the Caribbean pretty quickly and quietly, went to Turkey. But interestingly, the vessel has now left Turkey and is headed through the Suez Canal. So one of the things I find curious is that before heading to Suez, they went to Cyprus, and they went to the, not to the Turkish side of Cyprus, which I would have expected, because obviously they've been in Turkey, right? So where they've been protected, but he was on the other side of Cyprus at Limassol Marina. Now, the reason why I find that interesting is because it's quite close to RAF Akrotiri, which is a joint forces base out there, RAF base. A lot of joint forces operations take place from out there. So I find it a bit curious. Obviously, he felt secure enough to go to that marina before heading to Suez. The vessel was apparently not molested in any way. And the vessel headed down to Port Said, which is the staging ground for transits of the Suez Canal. The vessel transported the Suez Canal yesterday and is headed to, according to the AIS on that vessel, the vessel is heading to Qatar. So we'll keep you updated with that when we have more. Okay, so on to one of the main stories now, and this is a story about a 25 meter Sunseeker, an 82 model, being destroyed by fire in Queensland in Australia. The yacht was at a marina on Hamilton Island in Queensland in Australia, and the yacht is believed to have been called, according to Boat International, the yacht is believed to have been called Time Out. Now, the vessel was unmanned at the time, apparently, when the fire started, and it was believed to have started at 1000 hours on the 24th of October. And one of the things that made the fire worse was that it was very windy at that time, so the wind blew the fire and the fire spread really quickly. The boat is completely destroyed, and there were, like I said, there were no people on board at the time, so ordinarily I would say there were no injuries. However, some of the people in the marina actually went closer to see the fire. I don't know, maybe they were trying to help or something, but they went closer to the fire, and then they had to be treated by ambulances that were there for smoking inhalation. Now, because it's a Sunseeker, they're made of fiberglass, so once a fiberglass vessel catches fire, it releases toxic fumes. So if you ever see a fire like that, unless you've got any reason to go closer, I would say move further away. Yeah, like I said, that yacht was completely destroyed in the fire. The reason for it to have started is yet unknown. Okay, so on to the main story now, and this is about Yacht Nord. Now, we broke the story that Yacht Nord had left Hong Kong and was headed to Cape Town, and the yacht has got Cape Town on the AIS, so it looks to be headed there. The vessel passed through of Singapore Strait and the Malacca Straits yesterday. The boat is making good speed. 16 knots through the Singapore Straits, except for one section where they slowed down, which is 29 kilometers per hour. And now that they've cleared the Malacca Strait and they've turned west, they're now doing 18 knots, which is 33 kilometers per hour. That's a good rate of speed for a big boat. Unfortunately for that boat, they seem to be making the news wherever they go right now. So there was a big stink about the boat being in Hong Kong, and the vessel is headed to Cape Town in South Africa, as we said. One of the things that's happened is in South Africa, before they even got there, the Mayor, Jordan Hill Lewis, and the Premier, that's the Premier of the Western Cape, they've both called for the national government to prevent the vessel from entering South African waters and going to Cape Town. Now, the Mayor and the Premier don't have any authority over the port, so it's not up to them to prevent the vessel from entering, but it is up to the national government. And so far, the national government haven't seemed to have acted on that. They don't seem to be about to prevent the vessel from going there. The reason, obviously, why they're doing that is because they feel that there could be some sort of diplomatic incident, with the US and other countries, and with everything that's going on in Ukraine. Now, whether or not the vessel will be prevented from going to South Africa is yet unknown. Now, one of the things that could happen, which has happened in other areas like in Antigua and in other areas like in Norway with the Ragnar, is that the local companies that are based there could refuse to give them any services. The people, like Ragnar was stuck in Norway for over 5 weeks because nobody would sell them fuel. So they needed to bunker, to leave, and nobody would sell them any fuel, and the vessel was stuck there for weeks. So that's a possibility that could happen, that the government, the Mayor and the Premier could contact local businesses and say, look, we don't want anybody to do any business with them. So that's a possibility. That's something that we'll have control over. We'll have to wait and see if that happens. But so far, the government of South Africa have not said anything about it. Now, the vessel could, of course, change to another destination. Its current AIS destination says South Africa, but it could go somewhere else. But so far, everywhere that they've put into the AIS, they have gone. So some vessels play this game where they put in a destination and then they change it constantly as they move. But I've not seen Motor Yacht Nord do that so far. Anyway, we will leave it there. If you have any information on any of these stories or any other stories, please get in touch. We've had a great response from all the people who've contacted us about the story in South Africa and about the yacht fire. So everybody who sent me information on that, that's great. We really appreciate that. Just a quick one before we go. Be sure to check out our Patreon page. We've got a new Patreon page, and we've got some special features on there that are not on the YouTube channel. We will always post to YouTube, but we do have some extras, some outtakes and extras and some things like that, and some stuff that is in the pipeline for that channel. If you want to support Eastman Superyachts, that's the way to do it. So if you want to get in touch with us, you can do it through the normal fashions. You can get us on the About page of the YouTube channel. You can get us on Instagram. You can get us on Facebook Messenger, and you can get us on Threema. Be sure to like this video, hit the subscribe button, and hit that bell for future notifications. All right, thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch up with you soon. Bye-bye.